Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Logan County Fiscal Court. And before we get started, we have a word of prayer. And we've got so much to be thankful for that we're in Logan County. And then we also got friends that's hurting and people that's hurting. So need to remember all that. And Barry, would you like to do a prayer there?
Yes, sir. Sure, but let's pray. Father, we just thank you for this great day you blessed us with, Father. And we just thank you for the county that you blessed us with to live in, Father. We want to lift up the ones that may be hurting this morning, Father, the ones that are fighting sickness and illness, Father. We just ask you to lift them up, Father. We thank you for the ones that's the caretakers to them. Father, we just thank you for our leaders of our nation, Father, and our military that backs us up, Father, where we have freedom, where we can come and meet. Father, as we conduct business of your meeting today, Father, of this county, help us to do it pleasing to you. All these things I ask in the precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Okay, let's call the meeting to order with the pledge of the American flag. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we get started this morning, I'd like to amend the agenda to allow Leanne from the extension to be able to come to court with her new tax rate for approval. And the library is number one of old business, and since Simpson's here, our king is with us this morning. We can move that right up after their report addresses fiscal court.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Now, is there any questions? If not, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, first item of business is the minutes from the last meeting, and we need to do a correction on a couple of orders. Order number 16 with the correction of, instead of it being a revenue bond, it's a public official bond. And then order number 22, it mentioned search and rescue. We want the motion to be able to fit. It's a motion by Tyler Davenport, second by Thomas Bolden, to authorize County Attorney Joe Ross to write a letter for the Logan County Fiscal Court in support of the Logan County Emergency Management to purchase a drone.
Motion to approve minutes with the corrections as presented.
Second. Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Now, is there any question?
Make a motion to approve the minutes with those two corrections.
It's already had a motion and a second.
Okay.
Okay, no other concerns? Let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay. Next item of business is the airport. Board would like to address the court to.
Good morning.
Morning.
As the court remembers, we came up, I guess, a couple of months ago to talk about a proposed hangar we want to build out here. These handouts have a copy of my talking points so that you can review those later. If there's something you have any questions about, feel free to give any one of us a call. And I think we handed out the funding summary the last time, and I apologize, I don't think we put a copy of it in here this time. But basically it says over a 5-year, 6-year period, we'll have $2,083,333 available. And that includes the federal funding as well as the local fiscal court and city council matching amounts, and the Kentucky Department of Aviation matching amounts, as well as a one-time payment from the Kentucky Department of Aviation. But hangar space is in high demand with the shortage of aircraft storage space nationwide, as well as here at Russellville Logan County Airport. The board believes the timing's right to proceed with construction of additional hangar space. And there's a local growing aviation management company of a group of co-owned aircraft that are currently in need of hangar space. They have a twin-engine King Air 200, which is a 9-passenger aircraft, a Beechcraft King Air 350, which is 11 passengers, a Honda Jet, which is 6 passengers, and they have future plans in the near future for a Cessna Citation jet that'll accommodate 9 passengers. They're also in the process of attaining their FAA certification to provide charter flight services to the public, which we think is going to be a big plus for the local community. You'll be able to fly out of Russellville if you so choose to go just about anywhere you want to in the country. Typically in the past, the way we've run projects at the airport is we'll accumulate funding over a period of years from the federal AIP grant, Airport Improvement Program grants. This time, what we'd prefer to do, because of the immediate need, is to borrow the money to build the hangar and then pay for that over time with the federal grants. And we send out letters to the local banks asking for interest rates or proposal. We've received one back, and we've got questions from at least one more bank that Cassie, our manager, has answered. So this federal funding, we've spoken. We had a meeting with the FAA's Memphis Airport District's office. We had a Zoom meeting with them, and the director has sent us a letter, and that's included in your packet, a letter of acknowledgement of our plan with concurrence in paragraph 4. The ADO concurs that the community hangar, associated apron, and associated connected actions are eligible for reimbursement with the future MPE and AIG funds. So they have no problem with us borrowing the money ahead of time to build it and then pay for it over time. They said, as a matter of fact, they've done this several times, and they really don't have any restrictions on where the money's borrowed from. John Keith Smith was sitting there next to me in the meeting, and Director Tommy Dupree, he said, we don't care where you borrow the money, you can get it from that guy in the red shirt next to you if you want to. Of course, John Keith said, they ain't getting it from me, I don't have it. But so they're okay with this plan that we've proposed. We've also talked to the Kentucky Department of Aviation, and they're in agreement with this plan, and they have the funding support for it, as they do most any project we've presented to them. The board, we're working with our engineering firm, Garver. They're going to design and manage construction. Our plan is to build a 100 by 145 hangar. With fluctuation of construction cost, what it is right now, Garver's recommended that we go ahead and bid for 3 different sizes so that we can go with the size that we can afford based on the fluctuation in construction costs. You know, we don't know. Right now, their project schedule has us bidding this sometime in January 2023, and with the completion before winter of 2023. So sometimes next summer, about this time, it should be in full stride on construction. So that's pretty much it. Our goal, or our objective for being here today, as we mentioned earlier, was that the airport really doesn't have any collateral to put up for a loan as a public entity. You know, it's all public property. So we'll need the support of the city council and the fiscal court to co-sign the loan, so to speak, to guarantee the repayment. And our job here is to assure you that we have the funding to cover these payments. And again, We didn't bring a copy of this time, but we can provide another copy. We provided this last time we were up. You're free to keep that and pass it around, and we'll send more copies of it. But that's a summary of our funding over the next 6 years.
Now, that's funding on what's through the grants and the programs like that. We also
Yes.
will be receiving hangar
Yes.
rent. We'll also be receiving extra funding through additional fuel sales. If we can keep these airplanes there and keep them in the air, they've assured us that they buy every gallon of fuel they can from us.
So you're asking the court and the council to co-sign the loan as well as to do a 2.5%
Yes, yes.
on top of the funds we
Yeah,
already.
in the past, we've done well, in recent years, we've done a 1.25% from each, from the county and the city. But we got a letter from the state back in May that says their funding has been reduced this year in the Department of Aviation. The fuel tax, the aviation fuel tax, the bulk of that money was shifted to highway. So that aviation fuel tax, most of it's being spent on highways. So their budget is not as much this year as it has been in the past. We're still going to ask them for their 7.5%, but we have no assurance of that. In their letter, they said they assure airports they'll provide the 5% matching fund. So that's why I've listed 2.5% local and 2.5% our city and county. And
Yeah,
it
we
comes
just-
to about $8,000 on a $2 million project, comes to about $8,300 a year.
We just received a check from them yesterday for $200,000.
Yeah, from the
Is that to
state.
get started on this?
With the budget shortfall or with their funding decrease this year, the Department of Aviation decided rather than wait for airports to come ask them for money, they'd send a check for $200,000 to every general aviation airport in the state. That includes Covington or Greater Cincinnati Airport and Louisville. We plan to talk with them to ask if they're going to use their $200,000 because what was it? He said they have in the bank right now
Yeah, the
$60
bigger,
million.
larger municipal airports have,
Yeah.
they're so self-sufficient that this money, it's kind of like the commissioner said, that, not that they won't take it, but they won't use it. So he said, didn't see any problem why we couldn't ask to see if they'll shift that funding to us, because also with this that we set up with this and what we're doing, they've asked us to do a presentation at the aviation conference to encourage airports in the state of Kentucky to show what you can do to progress. They're wanting us to be the, I guess.
Just an example of how projects can be ran. Because there's some small airports, Deputy Commissioner KDA told us there's some small airports that have no local support, no local funding, and they come to them for $1.5 million project, which they typically can't afford. We're fortunate to have local support like we do and be able to fund these projects. But again, that $200,000 to the Greater Cincinnati Airport and with $60 million in the bank, and Louisville Airport with, I think they had $48 million in the bank is what he told us. That's not a significant amount. And so we're going to ask if they'd be interested. There's no guarantee they'll give it up, but if they are, we'd sure welcome it.
And we're also going to see, we've got two state airports, Rough River and Lake Barkley, that don't hardly ever use their AIP money. So other airports can go and per se kind of borrow it from them. We did that before to finish up some projects at our airport. The only thing is, that airport has to pay that money back to them, and per se as a loan payback as that time comes for the year. And I think on our last project, since it was state airports, they
didn't even ask
back for it. They just said, you're good with us. So that's why we feel like the state will stand behind us in doing their share and helping us.
Yeah. And as the state's told us more than once, they're willing to help active airport boards that are out there and trying to make the improvements like we're doing here at Russellville. you know, we've mentioned it more than once, each one of our members is fully engaged in this on a volunteer basis, and we believe in what we're doing. And we really appreciate the fiscal court's been very supportive over the years, and we look forward to that continued support.
I got 3 or 4 questions.
Yes, sir.
I had been at the airport a while ago going by. The hangars for people put their planes in and leave them, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have a hangar all out there now?
We've got one community hangar, and we've got 3 T hangars, they call them. You can put small planes in. So we've got 8 times 3, 24 airplanes in those T hangars.
But have you got people wanting?
Yes, we have a waiting
Got
list.
people wanting a place to put their plane?
Yes, sir, and that's true everywhere. The hangar space, like I said, nationwide, there's a shortage of it. Because of how expensive it is to build them, you really rely on the federal government for the majority of the funding for that. And right now, Cass, how many people are on our waiting list? Right? 6. So we've got 6 people now. One guy from Texas has contacted us, and I believe he wants to build a hangar out there, doesn't he? We have an area where down a grass area where we've put in a gravel road to, and we have one guy with a helicopter who we're working on right now to negotiate a contract for him to build a hangar. And then this guy from Texas is interested in building his own hangar. And what we do there is rent the land to him. And the FAA requires us to rent it, requires federally obligated airports like we are, because we take loan or grants. They require us to rent that land at a fair market value. So, and we've gone through this before with the fire department, rural fire department, tried to get them based out there, but we just couldn't work it out. And I understand that, because after a period of years, the structure becomes owned by the airport board.
It actually becomes property of
Yeah.
the airport. And this helicopter,
Yeah.
you know, helicopters are coming back, believe it, more popular, and especially when you can offer something for them. You know, they're really involved in crop spraying now. They're
Yeah.
getting more involved in transportation. A lot of aerial photography. They'd rather do it from a helicopter, and they had a fixed wing aircraft. And this guy, he's retired out of the military, and he's wanting to open a flight school out there for helicopters. That's what his goal is. He's very, very strong, and he said our airport is one of the ideal airports for what he's wanting to do, plus the opportunity will open up for a lot of other stuff.
And I might also mention that the aviation management group here, they have a 5-year plan of growing to 12 aircraft. And they'd have to base some of those at other airports just simply because we don't have the room for them. But I think that's a good thing. Like I said, we think this is a development for the local airport as far as growth that we haven't seen in I don't know, ever.
What will this new hangar space be used for? I mean, you obviously know.
It'll be leased at a rate of, we're thinking right now, for $4,500 a month. So that revenue would go also toward paying this loan. Oh, let me go backward and mention, the FAA's grants will only pay for the principal of a loan. They won't pay for the interest. So the interest is up to the airport board. And we have a plan to cover that as well. And we're working through different funding scenarios. You know, we've gone back and forth several times looking at different things. But the revenue from fuel sales and hangar rent is really the only 2 revenues the airport has, and that's how, and they've grown significantly in recent years with the development of this of these co-owned aircraft based out there. I think what they tell us, Cass, they expect to spend $7,000 or $8,000 a month per aircraft on fuel once they get this thing up and going. So 8,000 gallons a month or per aircraft is going to be quite a significant income for the airport. Of course, you know, we pay for fuel too, so.
I think we were making a profit per year of about $50,000 on fuel, and that will increase to about $90,000 in the first year. So that's a big benefit for the airport.
And that's just out this one group. That's not counting our regular ones that are flying, it's already got a small aircraft there that's buying they're buying Jet A, our regular general aviation, our low lead regular fuel. You know, we make sales off it. We make good sales, and several of these helicopters we got are buying this aviation general leaded fuel. They're not, you know, turbined or require the Jet A, so that helps our sales too.
And our hangar pricing's competitive. We looked at area airports, and we found that we were low. Several years ago, we were low to area airports, so we increased those pricing to more current market pricing. And different hangars are different size, so one of our board members had an idea that we need to charge by the square foot, so we started doing that. Some hangars cost more than others.
There's people, these planes owned mainly by individuals?
Yes.
Or does Logan Aluminum, people like that have planes?
I know one guy at Logan Aluminum has one.
I'm talking about Logan Aluminum itself. Do they have?
No, sir. Logan does not have a corporate plane. And I've talked to the plant manager a few years ago about that, and they showed some interest in it. He's since retired, though, so I haven't talked to anybody there.
I didn't know, you know, somebody might need to be flying once a week somewhere from out there. I didn't know.
Well, and Logan does a lot of travel, and they have in the past chartered planes out of Nashville. When I can't guarantee this, but I suspect when this local group gets their charter license, there'll be some charter opportunities with Logan, with Emerson, with Carpenter. I know Carpenter has their own planes based in Richmond, I believe.
R.J.
And Emerson's,
Corman.
yeah, and R.J. Corman, they've got their own planes based in Richmond, and Emerson has some based in St. Louis, yeah.
No, I mean, y'all don't need a motion today, do you? Or co-sign the loan? Well, they don't have a loan yet, though.
I think what we're asking for today, and George, correct me if I'm wrong, it's just that the fiscal court will pursue with the League of Cities, I guess it is, to, is that correct, to see?
No, we're not the league, that'd be the city.
Okay.
So, Department of Local Government would be our.
Okay, the Department of Local Government to, and we'll provide any financial records that you need to help support, you know, the discussion. To, at some point, we will need an official motion to support this through a co-signing, a guarantor.
Did you already do that motion?
Well, they were gonna go check.
They
What was
talked
it?
about it. I think you all do need to make a motion that you want to move forward with this and to allow me to write a letter on behalf of you all and them for the Department of State and Local Government.
I thought we'd already done it.
I know it's been discussed, but I don't think you formally voted on it. And I guess when we were talking about this with Lead, it came up that having to share finances. So I guess to share whatever financial information with the lending entity would probably need to be a part of the motion, do you think?
Right. And again, let me emphasize that this is not going to cost, let me back up, unless the federal government changes how they do things with their grant program, and we don't foresee that, but you know, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't foresee this affecting the county beyond the 2.5% match.
You know, the only two things that, you know, and it's not just with the airport or it's with anybody trying to do construction projects, is we can't get engineers, architects will not give us a set price on building them because they said, you know, in 5 days everything could change, 10 days it could change. We can get general figures of what we're hoping to put and do. And then, of course, the banks right now with interest rates changing too. I mean, you know, so we're trying to stay on top of all that to know exactly that we can keep a set figure in mind, but we can't guarantee a figure, and that's what they tell us.
Yeah.
Steve, just make sure I heard this right. The federal match that we normally do with any grant that y'all receive.
Yes.
We do that 2.5% match in the budget, and so we would have to commit 2.5% above what whatever the
No, their
government
match is already
match is
included in the annual
toward the
funding,
payment.
isn't it?
usually, I think when Logan, we talked about it, you always had each year, even if we didn't do a project, you had a projected
Yes.
amount you put in the budget just for,
I
Just
do.
for the match.
I do, but I just want to clear this up for future budget.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about, you know.
Yes, yes.
Of course, I won't be here to do it, but if the federal government sends y'all $200,000, just use that for an example, we've got to put a 2.5% match into that payment if y'all use it toward the payment of this hangar.
Yeah. We're taking that out. I believe the annual funding from the county right now is $19,000. And
Yeah.
as George said, we agreed some years ago that that includes the match that we'd take the match out of that
Okay,
$19,000.
normally,
So there'd be really no additional cost.
normally George or you one come up there and talk
Yeah.
to me about anything y'all are applying for. And if we don't talk, I usually put $10,000 or somewhere like that in the budget, you know, just for, in
Right.
case something turns up, if we have a match above our annual contribution. And so, I mean, this is going to continue to have to be done that way.
Yes.
And I
Yeah,
just
we
wanted-
foresee an ongoing contribution or grant availability of $150,000 from the federal government for airport improvements. We don't see, I mean, like I said, we don't have a crystal ball, but we don't foresee any change in that.
and also usually, you know, when I leave your office, I go to the mayor's office and talk
Yeah.
to the mayor and try to keep both of you right at, you know, we're all on the same sheet of music, I guess you could say, and Mark has started doing that too, trying to put in the city budget, keep that 10,000 for the city's matching part too.
Well, I just want to kind of explain that to the court.
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
So Judge, I'll put in a motion that the Logan County Fiscal Court will partner with the Russellville-Logan County Airport and the city of Russellville to seek securing a loan to build a prospective hangar, and that we would provide you with the necessary financial documents and financial statements needed for securing the loan from local banks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We got 3 seconds. You can take your pick.
All right.
Jason.
That's a for sure pass right there, isn't it?
Okay, we got
But
a
we appreciate
motion.
what y'all do at the airport. It looks great. I mean, you know, I'm proud of it because it's in my quote-unquote backyard, and I like aviation anyway, and y'all do a fantastic job.
Thank
It's a
you.
busy airport, and that's a good thing.
Yes, thank you.
Y'all do-
Thank you.
Y'all do a great
Cash,
job.
you do a great job.
Y'all do a great job.
Robert,
Thank
we
you.
need to ride
Thank
out there.
You need to take a flight. You need to take a flight.
I did that years ago.
Okay, we had a motion, and I guess you picked out a second. Joe, do you think everything's worded right? Okay.
I elaborated more than needs to be in the motion.
Okay, well, I know we gotta,
Write it up how you
if we move forward with this, we gotta get the okay through the Office of Local Government.
Included in what he
Yeah,
said.
so. Okay, any more questions? Does the city feel good about it too?
Yes, yes. George has been talking with the city, and again, it's really not going to be any additional funds, you know, on the loan, so long as we stay within what our funding allowance is.
Yeah, we were supposed to meet at their last council meeting, but Mark preferred that he wanted to try to see what the fiscal court was going to, their actions, how they felt before we come back to the city, so we're on their agenda for the next council meeting too.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Okay, at this time, Leanne, if you want to come up with the extensions, tax rates. Leanne Martin.
I'm Leanne Martin, and I'm here representing extension for the extension tax rates.
Thank you.
The Logan County Extension Board met Monday, August the 1st, and has approved or to set the extension tax rates at the compensating rate for real property of 4.4, personal property of 4.98, and motor vehicle was retroed back to the 1983 tax rate set at 1.45.
Okay, the compensating rate was down this year.
It was down, yes, correct. Yeah, last year was almost, it was right at 4.59, I think, for real property.
I make a motion to acknowledge the extension taxing decision.
Tax rate.
Request.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion to acknowledge, and I got a second, the compensating tax rate, which is lower than it was last year.
That's right.
Do we acknowledge tax rates?
I thought you had to approve them now.
Don't we?
Well, only thing we got the court from remembering what came out, anything above compensating we have to approve. Is that right, Joe?
That's my memory.
And then anything compensating or less, we don't,
Okay.
we either approve or disapprove anything. And if we disapprove, we got to give them a counter tax rate.
Okay. I got you.
So I think we just
I
got
was
to
too, I was like,
acknowledge
oh, I
it.
don't know.
I believe that's correct. That was my memory of it. At one point, it was just, we used to just
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little
Approve
different.
it if it's above the compensating rate. Anything else? Oh, what is this?
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Is there any questions?
Appreciate what y'all do out there.
All right, yeah, we've got some good things and big things on the horizon, so we're excited. So
It's already been big things out there. It's no smalls.
we'll be out there this morning. Russellville Independent School's out there, so every parking lot in the building's full. So they're having their opening day celebrations out there.
Okay, no other comments, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
Thank y'all very much. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay, next we got King Simpson with us. I called his name backwards a while ago, but King is with the Library Taxing District.
I've been called worse, don't worry. All right. The Logan County Public Library Board met in a special call meeting on August 1st. I believe do you all have this in your packet, a copy of this? Olivia said it was going to be in there, but I got extra copies if anybody needs one. Okay, yep. So they did vote to take the compensating rate for this year, which will make the real property rate 9.2, personal property 13.13, and then of course the motor rate is automatically set at 2.3 cents. So they did acknowledge all those. I don't know if it's on the back or if it's on the second sheet on y'all's, but you can see how the tax rate has changed. So it's fluctuated between 9.1 and 9.2 on real for the past few years. But that gives you sort of a historical picture there of how that looks.
Move to acknowledge.
Second.
Okay, got
Here, I got
a motion to acknowledge the tax rate, and Logan County Tax,
What's that here?
Library Taxing District. Any questions?
You can have it.
I got a second.
Give Barry just a minute, he's just now getting his copy.
Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Y'all have a good one.
Okay, I'll get settled down here in a minute. I wanted to make sure that our clerk had a copy of everything. Okay, next is the bill list and the supplemental bill list. And if you look, we did make the payment on the debt at the jail this month. And I think according to what I figured, there's 2 more payments, 2 more years, and that'll be gone. And then we did have a payment cleared through JSK on work we're doing outside the courthouse on the supplemental list.
All these amounts are cut off on this. I saw it on the PDF.
So there's 2, after this payment, there's 2 more, like $606,000.
I think that's the best we could figure, yes. Me and Amanda had a small discussion a minute.
We get that through the AOC blue form, pays us back on that, that's how we make that payment. And it's through our general fund, but the revenue is through from that blue form. Judge, I make a motion to pay the bill and the supplemental bill list. By the way, the work they're doing out there on the planners and everything, man, it looks awesome.
I can't even remember what the old looked like. You know, I mean, it looks great.
They're doing it, they're doing
And
it.
they're about half finished with a little bit out front.
Yeah. And it looks good. And French drains, man, they look good.
Okay, we got a motion, we had a second, then.
Second.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, treasurer report, Amanda.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so the first thing that I have for you this morning is the financial statement ending July 31st, 2022. The balance in the general fund was $547,346.08. Road fund $286,714.87. Jail fund $154,866.54. LGEA $33,708.08. Federal grants fund $54.68. Solid waste recycling $489,097.37. Parks and Rec fund $500,870.07. Occupational tax $7,920,209.92. Life skills $153,668.24. 911 fund $34,681.76. Health insurance fund $675,505.55. County clerk storage $0. ARPA funds $5,269,935.27. Special reserve $4,186,820.64 for a total of all funds $20,368,831.57.
Move to acknowledge, as presented.
Okay, we have a second.
Second.
Second by Barry.
Yes, sir.
We have any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Golden,
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Judge, I do have a couple of questions first, man. I mean, didn't really affect the vote, but I'm assuming county clerk's storage is just simply because none's been turned over?
That was a new bill that went into effect on July the 15th. So the monies that were collected from July the 15th to the end of July got turned over in August. So on August's financial statement, you'll see a balance of that. The amount that did get turned over to me was $2,670 for the month of July. So then each month, they will now turn over those county clerk storage fees separately from their excess fees, and you'll see that in that bank account.
So it'll no longer be on their financial statement
But
other
on-
than what's there for one given month. It'll roll over to you.
Yes.
And the accumulation will be in our budget.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you for explaining that. And then second, on our ARPA funds, Judge, we probably need to get an update from our two contract providers. I've not heard anything from any of them since, I guess right after we signed the contract. I have spoken with one of them, and they were kind of singing the blues about availability of getting material. I reminded them that they told us they already had that material on order and had an anticipated ship date. So I would like to, if Tyler's okay with that we can get them in the same room and let's get a update of where we're at.
Well, really that update needs to, maybe could happen in court next time.
That's fine, anywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
unless Tyler's heard something different.
No, I've heard, I've talked to some at the electric plant board, and they've ran some of the fiber out 6880. Some of the fiber has been ran for part of that project, but they are there's a huge back order on just parts that are random parts. They can still continue work, like as far as running the fiber, and they've done some of that, but there are some, to get it up fully going, there are some shortage on some items, but.
Well, let's
but yeah,
ask them
but
to
I-
come give
I
us an
think,
official
yeah.
report,
Yeah.
and probably in front of court would be the best place to do it, so it's
Yes.
on record.
It's fine. I think it's complete.
To give us an opportunity, I'll be thinking about any questions you got for them. And just ask Alan and our gal,
Dale.
Dale, come. All right, sorry, I saw that and made me think, I ain't spending no money, which usually is a good thing, but those funds
We
need to
got-
be allocated,
$4.5 million are allocated.
Thank you. Next.
Do we do roll call on
We
that?
still need,
Yeah,
we
we've
still
already-
need to have roll call on them.
No, we've already
Already
did it.
done,
I asked
okay,
the
I'm
questions
sorry.
after because they didn't affect what
Okay.
your numbers were.
You also have a list of budget transfers in your folders that we need to have approved.
What's the Thurston
Yeah.
Drive?
I
What
don't-
does that mean?
Sorry.
Is that for
What
the
is it?
project over right there to redo the
The second budget transfer, the 100,000 for the North Thurston Drive building.
renovation project?
That's where we're starting a project out there with the coroner's office. And we decided to be able to track it, that we need to set up our own line item
Okay.
for that project, because it has to be inventoried and all that separate. We pulled it out of the other county buildings where we put it, and we're setting up a line item for that project.
Motion to approve budget transfers as presented.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Now, is there any question? Or any more questions? Okay, let's go ahead and have roll call then.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
And I do have 2 cash transfers for you today. We need to transfer $300,000 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the jail fund.
And that's that payment I was telling y'all about.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Now, is there any question?
I'm sorry, what did you say the payment amount was?
305?
305?
305 or 363, I can't remember which one.
Okay. I knew they had 190 in their account.
Okay.
Okay.
It's actually 319,368.75.
I'm still giving my motion.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
And we need to transfer $40,000 from the occupational net profits tax fund to the 911 fund.
I made it.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and second. Now, is there any question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
And that's all I have for you today.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, man. Road work request.
Oh, yeah, District 1, out there on Homer Road, Kelly, we've talked some about it. A couple tiles need to be replaced or stopped up in there. I think due to tornado and some of that styrofoam, I know maybe we'll get them put on the list, but everything else, looking good. Looking forward to y'all being able to get that new, Momax deal. That'd be awesome, but everything looks good. Appreciate it, Kelly.
District 3, John U. Young, I'll talk to you about maybe sometime, try to grade it, a little gravel. And then that 1041, that for the state, and we might say something to Joe about that. Thanks for all the mowing, and I looked over this. Thanks for all the hard work.
District 4, same thing, just continue maintenance, thanks for all the hard work. And I guess, between the magistrates, we're gonna have to do like rock, paper, scissors or something, see who gets this mower max first.
Equipment committee.
Old Harold Prince, get the hat out.
Pull some strong or something. No, we appreciate everything, and we are all excited about getting that new piece of equipment.
Kelly told me a while ago that the old one's running flawless right now, so maybe we'll have two a little while.
District 5, everything's good, Kelly, appreciate it.
District 6, continue maintenance, thanks for everything, Kelly, looks good. Just sometimes you have time, I'd like to just ride with you and show you some roads that I'd like to put on the fall paving whenever they come back. I mean, and the later in the year, the better for me. I don't care if it's December, you know, but I got a couple like South Slope subdivision, you know, Pembroke, I'd like to take a look at Wilhelm Road, a couple spots on Oakdale back there. That's one place. But anyhow, late in the year, I don't want it done now. Okay.
Okay, y'all heard the road work request. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second. Now, is there any questions?
Scotty's will be back this fall, correct? Yeah. Okay. I got some too.
I just didn't know when, I just wanted to tell you, I do have some, but I don't care if it's December. That works good for me.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, Mary, elected official.
Did you say that it had started on the building?
Do what?
What did you say a while ago about the building?
We set a little money aside for the project. As far as I know, they're still in the design stage of it. And that was way, by setting up a line item, we can track it. Now, of course, right now, we don't know exactly what the quotes or the bids will be. So,
I'm assuming that they're gonna come down and meet with us again before they start designing the building, right?
well, they came down and measured it, and me and Mary went out there one day and met with them.
Okay, y'all did meet with them. Okay,
Yeah,
I
we
didn't know
met
y'all
with
met with them. Sure.
And Mary kind of went over what she thought she needed in the building
Okay, all right, good deal.
with the garage door. So, I guess their design would be pretty simple. It's just a matter of working the mechanics, with the washer, dryer, the cooler, the stainless steel sinks that's needed, that type of stuff.
But will they meet with you or talk to the court before they do anything, or?
Oh, they'll come to court and talk and present it to us before we can put it out for bid.
As long as it's moving forward.
Okay, Stacy. I got two women now.
So I've already brought up the need for a bookkeeper in my office, and I've got some stuff together for y'all. I believe this has to go through 2 readings, is that correct? So this would be our first. Okay, well, I just wanted to send y'all with some information. Okay.
What do you, one thing we need to do is a fee report for sure. And I think it was signed for July.
That's Scotty's fee report.
That's
not my
Scotty's
fee
fee
report.
report. We need to approve that.
You need me to sign it?
That don't have to be signed.
Okay, do you need me to do anything with it?
No,
No.
we just need to approve it. I was just.
You wanna do that right now, Judge? The fee report?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
I make a motion that we acknowledge Scotty Harper's July fee report totaling $70,299.91.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion second. Is there any question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Next month will be.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yeah, now we'll get started on the next.
Okay. All right, so like I said, I've already mentioned to you all that we have a lady in our office that has been with us a while, and she is wanting to promote to the bookkeeping position. At this time, that bookkeeping position has been part-time. It's just not feasible that she would be able to do what Gabby could do because she's never been a state auditor. She's going to need a lot of training. I've also included some extra duties for her so that way she could pitch in and help out with election because we are overrun with work right now for that. So I don't know how many of these y'all wanted, so I just kind of made everybody a copy. But we would definitely keep her busy. I have no intention of, there might be 2 there. There is more than enough work to keep her busy. So she would, not only would she be bookkeeping, but she would also be doing data entry for the election season. She could help out with voter registration processing, with any kind of data entry that's required.
On the personal action request, we actually won't be able to move her to that new role until we've had the second reading of the job description.
Correct.
Yeah.
So this is just for y'all today, and then I suppose we'll have to bring it, I'm sorry, I'm new here, y'all might have to walk me through this. I thought I needed to present it today, and then we would go through it again. Okay, so that's that. Then I also have an employee that actually stepped up in July. Amy Kleiner took over Amy Candler's role for when she retired, and I have an employee that just stepped up and decided to really learn everything that Amy Kleiner was doing. That way, if Amy Kleiner needs to be off, she could step up and fill in her absence, and she has done amazing. We are so glad to have her. Miss Kimberly Whiting, right now, she is just a deputy clerk. I would like to go ahead and promote her to assistant head deputy clerk, which would give her the #1 stipend. Also have that for you. I don't know what you need, so I probably gave you too much. Will you just pass these out for me so I don't have to walk all the way around? Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's been doing it since July, but I realize I can't backdate her to that. But I was hoping maybe we could backdate her to August 1, if at all possible. Here you go, Judge.
While they're looking at that, we'll have to, you can stay there, but with this, the job description, I need to know what you want changed, because we have to do it in an ordinance, and you don't just submit a new one, you actually have to show what went from what to what. So if you could...
You need the deputy clerk to the bookkeeping election, so you would just need what she is now to what she would be going to?
What changes are being made in the job description?
I think it's a total new job description.
It is a whole new job description.
Okay.
We don't have that.
There wasn't a job description for Gabby. He was just a deputy clerk that did the bookkeeping responsibilities.
She's keeping the deputy clerk job description, and she's creating a new one for the full-time bookkeeping position.
He didn't have a job description at all?
It was just the deputy clerk.
I was wondering.
What's,
I got you.
So I kind of made one for what Gabby did, and then included election duties in that as well.
It's just stipend one.
Is this other, this Kimberly
Whiting,
is she, is this a new job description too?
No, it's just moving her from deputy clerk up to it, just promoting her, just taking them up, because Amy moved up, I figured Kim could do that. She just took it upon herself to learn that, so, which was a blessing to all of us.
Could you email this to me?
I can, I sure can.
And I would just say before we do this, it would be helpful if you all are inclined to do this, to let me know so we can go ahead and present that at the next meeting. So
Sure.
I'm talking to the...
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought you meant I should have presented it to you before today. Sorry.
No, I mean, if it takes some time to do, so if they are inclined to do it, it would be helpful to know before we prepare it, unless they were going to...
Okay.
So we don't prepare something and then they vote against it because they're not...
We've already showed our support, I think.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So we need
I didn't know the committee had met and made a formal, I think that is enough, I just didn't know that.
So, of course, like I said, on Jennifer Hunt, is she already doing the job? Is she already?
No, I'm not going to put that on her until I know for sure that I can. She is no longer interested in. She's wanting to move into bookkeeping. She has bookkeeping experience and background, so she definitely wants a bookkeeping position. I don't want to throw her in back there until I know for sure that I can give that to her. That would be a lot. It's a lot on the girl that's filling in right now. It's a big job.
So two more. So will we even be able to have a first reading day of that? Or? No. Okay.
So we make it to adjust the start date on that?
So my thing is that, we wouldn't be able to have the first reading on this new job description until the next meeting.
Okay.
So, because Joe and them has to prepare it.
Okay.
Or go over it and make sure everything's good. So then you're looking at, not the next one, but sometime in September before it would be approved, and then put her in that role. Is waiting that long to having somebody in that role going to really put you in a bind?
No, we do have Erin who used to do the job. She does not want to do this job, though. She is doing it, as a favor right now. But Jen is, if we know that this is going to happen, we're absolutely going to put her in. I don't want to stick her in the middle of the month. Our office is pretty much week over week, month over month, year over year. So I want her to see it from like the first day of the month. So if we know this is going to happen, we'll go ahead and move her back there and start showing her something September 1, but I don't want to put her in the middle of the month.
What I'm saying is that well, I'd hate for her to be already doing it, not getting the pay.
I understand.
But we can't.
She's okay, though.
We can retro.
I understand that.
Go back.
That's fine. And if we need to wait until
So
October 1st?
we already have the salary schedule in place.
We do.
So, you know, we might, if she's already doing it the next court meeting, we might go ahead and move her into that stipend, but
I think that could be a way to do it with, if you, when you pass the first reading, let the stipend start September 1st, because that's when she's going to have her start doing it, and then she can actually move into the job in the first reading.
okay. We'll figure it out. We'll get her figured out.
Why we fixed that up for you all was just, Stacy wanted to give you all numbers so you could see what the difference was gonna look like between Gabby and
And I do have that as well.
we gave some of that.
Yes. Which I did not make copies of that for y'all, but I do have that. So obviously, I mean, we are going to be needing to find about $24,000 in the budget to create this full-time job, but that's not from her raise, that's literally from the benefits of that full-time. Right, because Gabby didn't have a benefit package. So, and we have looked through the budget. I don't think we'll have to amend the budget. I think we have the money there to do it. We may do some transfers, but we believe we've got the money to do it.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll say it again, I'm in support of you having them full-time, but you've got to go through all the motions and everything. But,
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything to vote on today, right? Yeah.
Can we vote on Kimberly today? Because it's not
Yeah,
a...
we can do Kimberly.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want these back or just ours?
Y'all can have them. I made them for you. And y'all are just going to have to walk me through. If I'm doing something wrong, y'all just going to have to tell me, okay?
You're doing great.
Okay, thanks.
I don't know enough about this to ask questions.
So we can or we can't vote on Kim today?
Yeah.
We can vote on Kimberly.
He just
We always
double checks.
We always
Okay.
confirm the,
And then we'll approve it.
Okay.
from, there we go. I'm good. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Make a motion to approve the personal action request for Kimberly Whiting,
Mm-hmm.
going from, she's in the base schedule with no stipend at LC dash C dash 01. I can't read it right, but going to stipend of LCC 01 dash S1, being promoted to head deputy clerk.
Assistant.
I'm sorry, assistant deputy clerk.
Effective 8/1.
If we can go back, because she's been doing it actually since July 1.
We're going to make this retroactive to August 1st, 2022.
Yes, because that's when my budget starts. If I could go back to July 1, I would absolutely ask for that for her, because she's been doing it since then. But I can only go back to August 1. Okay.
Okay, we got a, Barry, you second that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Got a motion second on personnel action request. Is there any question? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that all you got?
Yes,
Stacy?
sir. That's all I have. Thank y'all.
Okay, Sheriff Stratton?
Just need to acknowledge the fee report. Motion to acknowledge Sheriff Stratton's July fee report.
Second.
Is that all?
No, I got some more on this left.
Oh, man, he was running.
Okay, is there any questions? We got a motion and a second. Is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport. Wright.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Powell.
Yes.
Golden.
Yes.
Chick.
I got,
Let me ask you a question first. I was thinking last night when I was going over this, when you put out where you get a bad check, you eventually get that, I guess, don't you?
well, we serve the individual the paper, and then it goes through Joe's office on the restitution fees and stuff like that. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. What we collect a lot on our fee report is civil papers. We get paid to serve civil papers. So like now, a lot of our papers come through electronic instead of a bunch of faxes and stuff. So we get on there, they send them to us. We get 60, courthouse gets 10 of the $70. So we get that as service of the paper. The criminal code checks part mostly, Joe's office gets that. We just serve it. We don't, I think we get $10 fee maybe from the court.
Well, a lot of cold checks that means outside court, so black people don't have checks that much.
Yeah, we don't have as many as we used to, so. All right, I got several personnel action requests. The first two are on Jim Ray and Tammy Britt for SRO. Tammy Britt starts tomorrow. She's a retired officer from Glasgow who is currently an SRO in Glasgow. She lives in Bowling Green, so she was interested in coming to Logan because we had a better pay package. But she's actually had all three SRO training classes, and she's completely certified as an SRO.
She's gonna do what now?
School resource officer.
Oh, okay.
So I have 6 SROs in all the schools, one at the high school and all the elementary, middle schools within this week and next week.
Will she be put like in Auburn school then?
Well, we're going to kind of rotate schools and kind of get a feel, but there'll be one in every school.
The reason I said that, you said it's going to Bowling Green, and I just...
Well, yes, that's something that we had considered with her since she was coming from that way, but...
It'll be better going to Lewisburg
yeah.
from Bowling Green.
Right.
Nothing against Lewisburg.
We can handle our own.
Lewisburg's busy.
Yeah, they may get the paper.
Yeah, they've been in the paper a lot this week.
Might need to interview this Ray guy.
Well, he has some experience there, so.
Jim,
Yeah, he did jailer.
So was he the code enforcement?
He was. Yeah, he did for Russellville. He's the chief of Adairville for a little bit. He's worked for us. And he interned jailed, yeah.
So will this make 5 that we've approved?
Well,
Yeah.
We already had one.
Yeah,
we already had 4. We
Yeah.
already had 2.
This will be the fourth.
We did 2 last court meeting.
Yeah, so, I mean, we had 2 in place, we've hired 4, so that gives us 6, so I have 1 slot left to fill.
Are these good together, Tyler? I'll make a motion to approve the personnel action request for James Ray for student resource, or school resource officer.
15 years of credit in which schedule?
15 years experience at the LC-RO-1 salary schedule.
Second.
Okay, y'all heard the motion. Is there a second? I mean,
I
we
need
have
to
a
sign
second.
it. I need to sign it, then I'll get
Any
into it.
questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve the personnel action request for Tammy Britt, new hire, school resource officer, at 15 years experience in the LC-RO-1 salary schedule.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second. Question? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
And on these two personnel action requests, this is moving the current Eric Evans and Charlie Sweeney. They're under the deputy sheriff pay scale, so I was going to transfer them to the SRO pay scale, and this would be their request. And those effective dates are August 8th on those. Well, of course. I had to make sure it was right. And you could read it.
That would be my problem. Couldn't read my writing.
So what was the rule on the years of credit service? I thought 15 was the max, or was 15?
They're already employed here, so they've already got experience here.
So if you
When they came in, when we first hired them as SROs years ago, they had 15 credit, and now they've gained some since they've been here.
okay.
That's just a max you can come in with.
Right.
So the people that
So
came
Eric-
in with 15, next year they'll have 16,
Right.
and next year they'll have
Right.
17. I'm with you, I'm a little.
We've talked about this before. Now, these people, these schools, they'll be off during the summer. Is that
Yes.
right?
They'll be off during fall break, spring break, and the summer.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they only get paid for 195 days,
That's what I thought.
which schools in session is only, I think, 175, but that allows them training days and they stay over, school closes, and they're still there with the teachers' administration as they finish up, so.
That's what I was
They
thinking.
kind of help with summer school if it's there, but
So these are current, and we're just moving them from one.
yes, into the new SRO pay scale. They're currently under the deputy sheriff pay scale.
Well, can we go ahead, Judge, and move to item number 10 on new business and have the second reading on this SRO stuff?
Should I?
Do we feel like that's what we need to do, Joe?
Well,
I can bring it back afterwards, whichever.
Steve did hire them with the understanding that they would be subject to this new vacation time, but.
Oh, is it? So the big,
That's
That's what-
what
okay.
they're addressing.
we can wait, then we can wait on that one. Oh, okay. Yeah. Never mind, sorry. I thought we did that.
Yeah, but that was to add section 2 on personal policy.
Yeah, we can, I think we can wait on that. Yeah, okay.
What else would make you happy?
We're here to make you happy, Joe. So you know. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve personal action request for Charles E. Sweeney, changing his existing position from sheriff deputy patrol to school resource officer job position, and we're going to be going from LCS-SO-1 to LC-RO-1 with 18 years of credit experience. Oh, he got signed.
Yeah, I still got Simon.
I second.
Okay, got a motion, second question.
My only question, you know, and I was talking about this, when they're not working, like, you know, those days, if you're short, 2 of your deputies get sick or this, that, and the other, can they in turn be a road deputy, or would they be qualified to do that?
Well, they're qualified, but part of the package of being SRO is you're off, and the SROs generally, they're done with road work. They don't want to be part of that. That's why we had to kind of change the
I'm just wondering,
gameplay.
say 2 or 3 deputies got sick.
Currently, Eric and Charlie do that now. They've always helped after school. They serve papers and help with calls. But the package of attracting more SROs was everybody was going to, you work 195 or whatever you said, and they go home. They're just not interested in the road work anymore, so.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve personal action request for David Eric Evans, moving from sheriff deputy patrol, signed as an SRO, to school resource officer job, going from LC-SO-1 to LC-RO-1 with 22 years of credit experience.
Second?
Okay, got a motion and second. How's any questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Kyle,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
I appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Steve, she got copies of all that?
She will just a second.
Okay. Okay, department heads. I know Kelly's got to leave here in a minute, so Kelly, you got anything?
I was gonna say, as soon as I find out on the bridge, I'll let you know. And Scotty said they might be thinking about blacktopping. They may work us in September and October, but more than likely a big paving will be November. But it is high. Asphalt's went up.
What is it?
Yeah, I don't want to do September, October. Wait till
No, you like me, like it later. A low traffic road, September and October, fine, but high traffic. But I was gonna ask the court permission to purchase the Fiscal mulching head and quick disconnect for the Mower Max, $24,459.50. And it'll be free shipping because the machine's supposed to be loaded up Monday and heading this way.
Would it come with the machine when the machine came, or do you have to wait for it?
That'll come with the machine if we approve it now. Go ahead and buy it.
Okay, we got those, we got that item amended later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 13, but
At
Kelly's.
this time suggestion, we made an attempt to get 3 different quotes, you know what I'm talking about, so we'll be voting on that later. I think you just requested.
Yeah, I'm just
That we
requesting.
move forward with it.
If we don't get it now, we get up to $1,000.
Yeah. You know, we're saving a lot of money on shipping.
If we don't get it now, the shipping cost would be about $4,000. But if they ship it with the machine, shipping would be free.
And I was gonna ask one more thing. The airport's supposed to get our side boom tractor. Can we put that off till about the middle of October? That way we can run both machines and try to get caught up, and then we'll give it to the airport.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
That'll really help us out.
Barry wants the equipment committee maybe discuss with you maybe a couple of options before we
Yeah.
do that anyway. So we'll
That's
get together
good.
and talk about what we can do.
All right.
Yep.
And you get free, we'll look.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Got
All
some
right.
of my roads too, right?
Huh?
You got some of the roads I sent you, blacktop too.
Yeah.
Just give them.
All right.
Okay, Sue Carroll, you got anything? Okay. I guess that's everybody except Nathan. Nathan?
Good morning. Y'all may need a cane to yank me off the stage. I'm gonna talk so much here, but we'll get to it. We'll sure try here. So I wanted to make note that the 5-year plan is in its public comment period. There are copies at the city halls of Adairville, Auburn, and Lewisburg, and also here at the courthouse, as well as at the public library. So that is going until September 1st. So I just want to make a note there. The transfer station, and I've had several calls, several asks, it's still closed. The free day, it does not appear will happen this time, and I'm working with Scott Waste to get that made up. It is very unfortunate, and I do have alternate things for disposal. I tell some people in other counties that people can take it out there to those counties, but hopefully they get that up really soon. We're really hopeful. In y'all's court folders, I had a litter abatement report. Worked the best we could with it, 30 bags and 18 tires. So we had in the month, and I had a recycling report in there too. We had Tim and I working out there, 16 bales of cardboard and some paper and metal. So the big thing I was going to talk about is coming up next. I just want to see if there's anything first. Okay, well, as we talked about last time in fiscal court, I do have some money that appears is going to be left over at the end of the year on the litter abatement grant. And about $30,000 are currently in it as of August 1st. And just to say, it's burning a hole in our pockets. We want to spend it and get that litter cleaned up. So I sent y'all some stuff, and by email, and also including your court folders. I changed that document around from Warren County some with my ideals. It's just something of a starting point so we can start talking about contracting somebody to do pick up the litter. I have talked with some different lawn and landscaping companies. About half a dozen are interested in what y'all have to say about this, and I'll keep looking for anybody else that might be interested. I talked with the county attorney. He made some suggestions. We put that in there, and I also talked with the state grant administrator. She knows a lot about this grant, and we haggled back and forth and made a few changes to that also. So just basically, I could read through this, but just if you had any questions, I'll be able to answer those. And we just don't want anybody to do this, anybody off the street necessarily. That's how I feel. I want somebody that's a reputable firm, somebody that has insurance and all the good stuff that's needed. And I guess the best question would be, do we want to bid out the services to the best bidder, or just name our terms and see the takers and maybe interview who that would be? And that was some discussion about that last time. And I feel like one service would be best. I know Warren County does too. I sent that to y'all. They actually have two that work in tandem. They split the county in two. And they are interested in putting in a bid here too, possibly. But I would prefer to work with one, but whatever y'all think. But I just wanted to see what the pleasure of the court was.
I got one question.
Okay.
I was going over this last night looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
On the miles, what are you paying by the mile?
Yes, sir.
You had so much a mile includes two-lane road, includes both sides.
Yes, sir.
Is a mile.
Yes, sir.
All right, if it's a four-lane road, one side in the median you had.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about the other side? Then would that be 2 miles to get the same thing if they had to pick up the other side?
Traditionally,
You understand what I'm saying?
Traditionally, the state, they work it if it's a 4-lane road, you can count for a mile as 2 lanes of that 4-lane road. You can count that as a mile, but if it's a 2-lane road.
See, you would say, you had one side plus a median in this 4-lane road.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got the other side over there, just one side.
Mm-hmm.
I wondered how they'd get paid on that. How far
Well,
would you go?
2 miles.
That's
Four
what I,
lanes, and you did 1 mile.
Mhm.
You get
Yeah.
paid for 2.
that's what answered my question then. Okay.
Yeah, it would be the same. In theory, they're going to do both sides,
Okay.
yeah, and so it would be, you get credit for it.
Well, yeah.
They only did the eastbound lane, and they wouldn't get paid for 1 mile, but if they did the east and west or the north.
And this
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And that question has bedeviled solid waste coordinators, so you're not the only one to ask that. So, yeah. So that's how it would work.
I guess I don't have a personal preference.
Okay.
It would be my answer. So I would rely on what your comfort and what you feel like is best. I mean, so
Okay.
that's just my opinion.
Okay.
I agree.
I wonder if we could integrate this into the cardboard pickup on some of those spots that's still out in the field.
Well, I'll take it. I'll sure take it. We have some stops we'd like to get, but I don't know. They can only be paid for the litter while they're working on the litter. But you can't pay them anything over that. It's just the time they're working on the litter. You can pay them by the hour, but I would prefer to pay them by the mile for that because it's a lot easier for me to monitor that way, Yeah, by the hour, it's a little bit harder.
So your options are either you set a price that we're going to give for the pickup, or you can let people put in the bid to offer the best. But
There are other options too, but I like them less. You can actually hire somebody to do this. You can actually just hire them off the street or contract them off the street just to do
You
it.
probably
But
would rather just set a price and then interview people and see who can best the job.
we can do that. I think Joe may have
You
some.
could always put it out for bid, and if you liked multiple people, accept multiple bids.
I would prefer to put it out for bids if it were just up to me. Just put it out there and just see who we have and the rate that we can get.
That would be easier for the court to make a decision than just putting a figure out there. And then you
'Cause
have-
then you got several
then
that
you'd
might
have
take it.
5 people that agree to do it. How would you pick the best of the?
You got to interview them. It's a process.
Whichever way is more feasible for you and for,
And
you know how it works better than us, so.
And
So
it's
if you want to split it out for bid, that's what we'll do.
okay. That might be my preference. I don't want to overstep, but it might be my preference here. Just to kind of with the knowledge as I talked with her, $100 a mile is all the state will pay if it's set up like that. And if y'all wanted to chip in any more, we'll take it, but the $100 a mile is kind of their limit. And that's why you can provide them with supplies. So that's why I put in there, we're going to provide them with at least some of the supplies, and that still be something you can also count as part of the grant. But if y'all,
That's for the tornado, dude.
No, we talked.
well, we did that back and paid them $150 a mile for the nonprofits. That's the nonprofits.
Put it out for bid and see what it comes in at, then we'll talk about what we'll chip in if we have to chip in.
Did you all have any changes from what I wrote here in particular that y'all wanted to? I'd have to work with Joe, I guess, to get something together to make sure my I's are dotted.
You get some of the standard notice of, from Logan's office to advertise and patch what you've got. That would be a good start.
Sure. Are y'all okay just to put it out for bids then and just work with the county attorney and judge executive to do that?
Form a motion, Judge.
Let's have a motion to put it out for bid. Allow him.
I'll make a motion to put out for bid, contract loader pickup and disposal for Logan County.
Okay, we've got a motion second. Now, we've got any questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Powell.
Yes.
Bolden.
Yes.
Chick.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. We'll work to get that litter cleaned up out there. So,
you, Nathan.
as General MacArthur said, I shall return.
Thanks for letting us, the Humane Society park all around your building the past
Sure.
week.
Tim's been working on those boxes. They're getting a lot of boxes with dog food. He's trying to work with them and use the tow motor to help them. So he's really trying to work at it.
Okay, judges' announcements for the day. Well, there's the Auburn Dog Days of Summer is scheduled for August the 12th and 13th. Events will be held on the Auburn Square at the Auburn Park. Concert at Carico and Park with music and food trucks at the Carico Park Square in Russellville on August 13th at 6 p.m. And Summer Nights Cruise In at the Carico Park Square in Russellville on August 13th. The cruise in will begin at 5 o'clock. I don't know of any other things out there. If y'all do, y'all can tell us about it now. Okay, we'll set aside time for citizen participation in the court. If there's any citizen here today who'd like to address the court, we ask you to come forward, state your name, some vicinity of the county you live in, and I think, Ernie, you're the only one here. So if you...
Morning, Mr. Ezell.
Good to have you here. I know you may be here with conducting business in a few minutes, too, on the soil conservation. Okay, if it pleases the court, let's take about 5 minutes break.
I said you was back here praying for a big storm.
I don't pray for it, but I don't pray against it either. I let the Lord.
Okay, we're back in session, and the next item of business is to acknowledge the Big Muddy Watershed Conservation District tax for 2022. The Big Muddy, motion was to maintain the same tax rate of 1.0 per thousand for 22-23 fiscal year.
I'll make, go ahead. Make a motion to acknowledge the Big Muddy Creek Watershed Conservation District tax rates for 2022.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Are there any questions?
I think what it says, conservation.
Oh, conservancy.
Conservancy. I feel bad, I wouldn't have got it right either.
This tax rate affects Muhlenberg, Butler, and Logan with this Big Muddy. Part of Logan, not all of Logan, it's just people live in that district. Okay, is there any other questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business is to acknowledge the Logan County Soil Conservation Tax Rate for 2022. If y'all look, I think they stayed with the same tax rate, and the tax rate is .015, and that's for the north and the south conservation district.
Move to acknowledge.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and seconds. Any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, the next item of business is to acknowledge the Logan County Mud River Watershed tax rate for 2022. No changes at .0135.
Move to acknowledge.
Second.
Well, y'all on the right paper.
what is that there?
Show the replay. Barry, right?
Okay, is there any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business is to acknowledge the Logan County Health Taxing District rate for 2022. There was no change. It's 2.5.
So acknowledge.
So seconded?
We have a second?
Yes. Second.
Okay, if there's no questions, we'll have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business is set 2022 ad volume tax rates for the county. The 4%, if we happen to go 4%, is a 0.133. The compensating rate will lower tax rate at 0.128. If we take the compensating rate, it will lower other people's property tax from the last year by 0.130. And it will make a difference of $80,000 more coming into the county by lowering the tax rate if we take the compensating rate.
Judge, I make a motion that we take the compensating rate on real property at .128.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second on the compensating rate. Is there any questions? And y'all see the difference in the assessment? The assessment this year and last year's assessment, there's $85,646 and $85,646,840 increase in property assessments this year, and new housing and new things taxed.
Well, and the state put a requirement, I think the state really pushed for higher assessments this past year too.
Yeah. Well, and there's been a lot of new homes built too.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no questions, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, personal property. All right, we're gonna stick with the compensating rate. It'll be lowered to 0.163, where last year it was 0.185. The assessment of personal property in the county is up $40,735. Now $40,735,332, which would bring in about $17,000 more than what it did last year.
I make a motion to take the compensating rate for personal property, 2022.
Second.
And that's the 0.163.
0.163, yeah.
All right, any questions? If not, no questions, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, motor vehicle and watercraft at 10.6. The assessment was up $21,560,770. It would be an increase of $22,000 for the county at 10.6.
Make a motion to take the compensating rate on motor vehicle and watercraft 10.6.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and second. Is there any questions?
Only question I had, that's kind of hard to believe that vehicles in Logan County is up $22 million.
Well,
$21.5
a lot of-
million.
Basically.
If you remember last year, they were down though.
I think they revalue used cars to the market too.
Yes, that's a bunch of darn vehicles.
Look on the sheriff's speed.
Well, that's motor vehicle and watercraft.
$5 a piece, and it brings in $1,000. That's 200 inspections. That's 200 vehicles.
This is nuts, man. Nuts. I just thought that was a crazy high number.
Okay, look, any more questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, the next is just a summary of what we've done so far. The aircraft assessment at the compensating rate of 1.63, you bring in $2,711, which is $279 less, because the assessment was up a little bit, somewhere around 40,000, but lowering the tax, it'll bring in a little bit less, so $279. if we set it at 1.63.
Make a motion to set the assessment on aircraft at 1.63.
Well, it's .163, I'm sorry, Tom.
You're right, I just read it wrong, I'm gonna do that again. Make a motion to set the aircraft tax rate at .163. Thank you, Judge.
Second.
Okay, questions? Okay, not hearing any, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, the next item of business is to approve county request and agreement for litter abatement program funding for grant year 2023.
All right, I'm back, and this is the grant we have every year for litter abatement. We just discussed how we would spend it just a few minutes ago, but this is for the new grant for 2023 to give Judge Chick permission to sign for that grant. It's to clean up litter on all the state and county highways, and this past year it was $52,900 or so.
I'll make a motion to approve the county request and agreement for litter abatement grant for the year 2023 and allow Judge Chick to sign.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, next item of business is to acknowledge the receipt of the sheriff's department's fee audit for calendar year 21. Y'all can look through it. I didn't see anything, any discrepancies or any.
Very, very good audit, good, no trouble at all.
It was identified, it said.
Yeah, so they were very pleased with the findings.
I'll make a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the Sheriff's Department fee audit for calendar year 2021.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second. Is there any question?
Good job, Sheriff.
Thank you, thank you. I had to give the credit up front with the girls, but we all try to make sure that's done. That was our third year of that AUP audit or APU audit, where it's not quite a thorough audit because of the previous audits were so good, so it's less money, less things. So you're only eligible to do that 3 years in a row, and this was our third year doing that one. So we're very pleased and happy with that.
Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Next two.
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
Johnny's got just a second. They're going to give us $7,500 to go toward purchase of a new canine. Yeah.
How much are
They're
they?
95
Okay,
to
next item of
10,000.
business is
So
to
it's
approve
about-
the grant application for AKC. I don't know how to
Reunite?
pronounce that next word.
Reunite.
Uh,
AKC Reunite adopted canine cop.
yeah. To adopt a canine cop matching grant.
Basically, what this is, it's a group that helps law enforcement agencies with money on adding or getting a new canine. We're looking at adding another canine. So we sent this in, and they approved us for $7,500. to go towards the purchase of a new canine. They generally go $9,500 to $10,000, so that's about 3/4 of what it would cost. So I mean, that's way less taxpayers' money or drug fund money that we would use. Of course, that allows us to use drug fund money to supplement the rest of the canine, so it won't be coming out of budget or anything like that. So
it's not a match, it's a grant.
yeah, it's a grant. Yeah, they gave us $7,500 to get a second program started. You know, and it's not an adopt dog or nothing. It's a, you know, bred canine, certified canine. It'll be coming from the out of Tennessee, where our current canine trains and came from. So, you know, we're established with the training, and we know the guy that raises the dogs, and he doesn't raise them, but he gets them, and then he brings them in, and he does his part, and then the canine officer would go in. So
We have one
on day shift now that works with DTF, and then is available for schools or whatever we need during the day, and this one would go on night shift.
Can different deputies handle them, does it have to be the same one?
It's the same one. So this officer will go and train with the dog as the dog is training as well, so they train together.
So if we got another one, it'd be another deputy,
Yeah.
two deputies?
Yes.
Okay.
We'd have one on days and one on nights.
Gotcha.
Make a motion to approve the grant application for AKC Reunited Adopted Canine Cop Master Grant.
Second.
That's a pretty quick process.
Yeah, actually, we were extremely surprised that it was that quick. It was within a few days we got approved.
Okay, we got a motion and second to approve this grant application. Question? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
All right, thank you again.
Thanks.
Okay, next item of business, approve the second reading of an ordinance 22-23007, an ordinance relating to a certain amendments to the personnel policies and procedure, compensation plan, and classification plan adopted on January the 11th, 2005, to amend vacation benefits for the position of school resource officer and school resource officer sergeant only.
Make a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance number 22-230-07 related to the amendments as presented by the judge.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, question now. Okay, not hearing any, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business, this goes along with the CDBG CV grant. We got to approve a fair housing resolution that you have in your folders, dealing with that CDBG CV grant. And allow me to sign.
Make a motion to approve the fair housing resolution and allow Judge Chick to sign.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Now, is there any question? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Cowell,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business is to approve a notice of grant and agreement award for the U.S. Department of Agriculture and Natural Resources Conservation Service, and allow Judge Chick to sign. And you should have a copy of that. That's dealing with the project out on J. Will Stewart Road. And the total amount of the award is $38,978. And
We've been dealing with that since February.
December 10th.
Well, I think it's just getting started.
It ain't getting started yet.
All right, come on.
You said that,
Oh.
didn't you, Judge?
Do I?
You said that.
It won't, we told them that from the beginning. I'll make a motion to approve the notice of grant agreement award for the U.S. Department of Agriculture and Natural Resources Conservation Service and allow Judge Chick to sign.
Second.
I bet it don't get started until November. But it's November.
Okay, got a motion second. Now, is there any questions? I've had some questions and
We've been out there 2 or 3 times and not on any, there's one person who can answer the question. But we're on the right track now.
okay, with no other comments or questions, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Bolden,
Nick Christian's
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business is to approve a quote to purchase a Fiscal mulching head quick disconnect for $24,459.50. And if y'all look, there's an agreement, there's a quote from AppMax. That's a little bit higher because it included some shipping and then they've sent a letter that said that for $25,459.50 if we go ahead and buy it today. Then we got a bid from them.
You say 25? It says 24. It says 24 on the.
Number's not right.
I mean, it don't matter.
I have it on the engineer wrong, how about you?
Oh, okay.
The total, if you add the, on their quote, if you add the 23,8750 and the 1572.50, it'd be 25,460. 25,460. So it should be, that should read $25,460. Bid.
I believe it.
He's telephone correct.
Well, what called it was when you add two fifties together, that's a whole number, not a half a number, so.
You say 25,460?
Yes, sir. Put it in motion.
Make a motion that we purchase the mulch head from AdMax for $25,460.
Second.
Contingent upon being shipped with the money.
If you look on over there, we did try to get 2 more quotes. One of them was one of the companies that we contacted said that it's not compatible, and then we know the other one's not compatible that we got from the other company. One from John Deere and one from CMC. But we got a motion and we had a second, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Okay, next item of business is to approve a service contract quote with Sharp Laser Copier Technology for a year's service on a new copier at the Logan County Detention Center, and that quote is $600 for 60,000 copies in 1 year.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any questions? Okay, let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes. Next item of business is discuss quotes for a new hot water heater at the Logan County Justice Center, and we'll have to approve this. The paper y'all got in front of you, I've turned it in to the AOC for their approval. We will not move forward till we get their approval on it, but they want to know which one we recommend. Stuart Ritchie, it's a 3-phase water heater. For that and to be installed, Stuart Ritchie quote was $5,390. HMC, 6761, and then we couldn't get any local plumbers to give us any quotes.
Stuart Ritchie. We got a yearly contract with them, service contract. Make a motion to allow the judge to move forward with Stuart Ritchie's quote of replacing the 3-phase hot water heater at the Justice Center at $5,390, giving once AOC approves it.
Second. Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Bolden,
Yes.
Chick.
Yes. Okay, post agenda.
Not yet.
Do what?
Is there any post agenda?
I don't have anything.
Should have made them on the The extension board's met a couple of times. And, well, they met, well, I went to one meeting, but then they met again with the architects and stuff, and they've made the decision to move forward with the outdoor ag arena. So I guess they're getting the site surveyed and doing a topographical map and all that of the area where it's going, and we're gonna start on cost analysis very soon.
So what is the intent of the extension board? How are they, I know it's not set in stone, but how are they assuming to fund the project?
So we, in the beginning, made a motion that we would contribute 25% of the overall cost up to $375,000, which that's going to be hard for the extension to work off of, not knowing a solid, what the solid figures is going to be, because our money's going to vary, as stuff changes, because look at used bleachers versus new bleachers, so everything varies. So I thought maybe we should change that to just a solid 375 and just let them know that that's our commitment. If that was our commitment, then the extension's gonna put in X amount of dollars out of their reserves and then look at borrowing the additional money and then reapplying for the carpenter grant. And if they get any amount of the carpenter grant, to apply that towards whatever the debt is. But that's how they're looking at it.
But you don't have any idea what they're going to use of their own money?
Several $100,000 is what they're.
What's the anticipated, I know you don't know, what's the anticipated cost of the project?
1.1, 1.2.
They said it could get higher than that, but
What-
we're trying to hope it down around 1.2, 1.3.
In the beginning, it was $1.4 million, but they had $200,000 of dirt work in there. They had a lot of stuff that was just kind of fluff. The big thing is the bleachers. The bleachers could be $500,000 if they don't find them refurbished. Bleachers are $150 a seat, new. But you can get refurbished for like 90 to 100. Track's gonna be 200 foot by 400 foot.
The open area would be their open area.
But we have in our budget to support $375,000.
Yeah. So I look for the extension to come back to court and maybe ask for it.
So what if they end up getting a large sum of carpenter grant and then?
The carpenter grant's not gonna be as large as what they first anticipated.
Okay.
I mean, when
There's
it's,
no concrete number, but less than what
when it's all said and done, the extension will fund 50% of it, I would say.
Whether it's money that they about $4 grand, or just financing.
Either
Minus
budget,
minus 375. Yeah, I mean, that's what the,
I mean, we ain't gotta make a decision on that tonight. I just,
well, plans change, but I understand. We said we support it.
but that's just an update. Amanda, you got anything else?
I think the fair board was we're talking about maybe they're gonna make a little payment every year. I guess if everything works out good too, that the fair board would contribute some. They may have a lot of money, but hopefully they will have more money if it goes through.
I done made the motion once.
You had to make it.
Yeah, I made it, then you want to keep on talking.
I guess they just.
We can bring that up at the next court meeting, an item of business.
For the,
Yeah, I'm good with whatever we need to
I
make.
mean, we budgeted for it, and it's gonna be, I just would rather, I think we should. Just give them a solid number.
We're open to that, if that's what they want to request.
Well,
I'm open to it.
we're gonna-
Speak for everybody.
The extension has,
I'm not gonna commit to that, because there's nothing to keep them from, if we do that, I know they wouldn't, but still, technically, it's nothing to keep them from going out there and just doing a $400,000 project. You just paid $375 of that, I'm not gonna do that.
well,
That's the reason I'm asking.
Yeah.
I wanna know what the total cost is, I wanna know where you're getting the funds, how much of your own money are you using, you know, because it wouldn't be fair, and I'm 110% supportive of the project, but I don't wanna take the county's general fund taxpayers' money, you know, and fund 50% of the project, and you didn't use any of your own money. You know, you have money.
Yeah, that's
And
valid.
you should be using
That's
it,
good. That's
because
good.
you're not a bank, nor are we. And so I just want to hear out of somebody's voice that, hey, we're gonna do this in 3 ways. We're gonna get some grants, we're gonna ask the county for $375, and we're gonna put $500,000 of our own money that we have in reserve, and what's left, we're gonna simply borrow. I'm totally fine with that, but I'm not gonna commit to $375, not knowing what the project is, and 6 months later, or a year later, y'all decide, well, you know what, we're just gonna do a $600,000 project, and we just paid $375 out of taxpayers' money to do that.
yeah, that's fine.
Because the money I have here and the money you have there is all taxpayers' money. So
Yeah, 'cause
you
they're
should
taxing
pull
district
from
just like we are.
y'all, and then what you can't comfortably operate on, you should be asking others, which is the county, to help you, and that's what I'm committed
And I would say that sometime late September, possibly early October, they will come with exactly what you're asking for right now.
Perfect.
I'm just.
And I don't want y'all to think I ain't
Right,
supportive,
right,
but
right.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, because we've already
I need to-
committed to.
I need to answer
up
to
to
that.
375,
Yeah.
25%.
I don't want somebody to say, well, you just committed $375 and you don't even know how much the project's gonna cost. They may do a $400,000 project and you just paid 99% of it. You know, and I know y'all ain't gonna do that,
But I
but
understand.
you understand
That's
my
good.
point.
I understand. 100%.
But they do have a board. They did appoint a board, and I think me and Barry's on you're on the board, right? And so there's like people on the board that's going to oversee that.
And there's a lot of people working, they found some used bleachers and stuff, so, but the first figure was a whole lot more than what we even had, I mean, so. But you're looking over $1 million.
Well, you won't know the exact figure till you bid.
That's correct.
The architect's gonna give you
Estimate.
an estimate.
Now, there's a lot of people out there, you know, architect, you know, any construction company that does that type of work. They, you know, you go talk to Robert Cates, you go talk to H&H PTL, they tell you what that's gonna cost.
JKS is the one.
Yeah, any of them could tell you pretty
They've already
close.
told us once.
Yeah. And, you know, the good thing is, a lot of that stuff is coming down. I think you're on the downhill, or at least, you know, I think we've seen the apex, who knows for sure, but we've seen a little slip in metal pricing coming down in our industry, which I would assume is the same structural steel, steel, so hopefully you'll benefit from, another month or two from that.
They said construction would be starting in like April. in best case.
Yeah, so you're not even gonna bid it to the end of the year then, so you might really see some benefit.
It's amazing how much aluminum's in a set of bleachers. I didn't realize until I got to looking at it. Unbelievable how much aluminum's in it.
Extruded, yeah, it's an extruded process too.
For the third time, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, got a motion second to adjourn. Let's have roll call.
Davenport,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Chick.
Yeah.
It's 50. Did you say it's like 60,000?